For today's video, we're just doing it all. We are doing it all. It's glowy, it's highlighted, it's shimmeral, it's natural, it's light, it's just everything. It's everything you want for someone makeup. And personally, this is like my favorite thing to do, is just dunk my face in oils and shimmers. So if you want to get that summer glow, that dewiness, then just watch this video and you too can look glowy. So the first thing you're going to do is just exfoliate your skin, because if you do have dead skin on your face, we're going to be working with, you know, shimmers and all of that. You don't want it like the shimmer like sticking to the dead skin and like bringing it out even more. That, you don't know, I don't want that. I don't want that. And after you exfoliate, just moisturize with whatever moisturizer you prefer. And this is where the tutorial starts. Hello. So the MAC Studio Fix Fluid is what I'm going to use in the color C3.5. So I'm just going to dump a little bit on the back of my hand. A little bit, let's be real. But honestly, yeah, no, just do a little bit, because we want to do like as lightweight as possible, but you know, just enough to cover. And taking the multi-use oil with the rose petals, peony, and bergamot. It's just like a beauty oil that I got from Urban Outfitters. I use this thing a lot. I'm gonna take like one little drop probably. Let's do two. So I'm gonna take 2 drops and I'm going to mix the 2 on the back of my hand. And this is just gonna create that extra dewiness. And I'm gonna first apply it with my finger on my face. So just taking it just a little bit and work that into the skin. Okay, now just taking a beauty blender, I'm gonna pounce it in my face, because that's what we do. However much coverage you want to use with your foundation is honestly up to you. I just did enough to cover the redness. I put oil in my foundation, you know, oil, it's gonna slick and move around, so I'm not gonna like cover my face with the oil because I don't want anything really moving around. So I just did kind of just enough. And now I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Fit Me in the color Sand Concealer. And again, I'm gonna just do just the tiniest bit. I'm not gonna go like crazy with the whole V and highlighting situation. I'm just gonna do a little bit, because this, I guess, look for me is all about just the skin. So I don't want it to look like I'm wearing that much, which is why I'm also gonna skip like the face powder and all of that. And I'm just gonna put a little bit down the bridge of my nose, just because I do have a scar right here and I wanna cover it up a little bit. And again, going in with the beauty blender, I'm just gonna blend that in. As far as setting the under eye, it's nothing really new. I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier translucent powder, just because this is what works for me. Like, I've never had a problem with under eye like creasing when I use this. And this is actually the only part I'm just gonna use just a little bit to bake. And honestly, fuck it, we're not even gonna bake. I'm just gonna quickly put that in. Do this first, please. I totally spaced on it. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay priming potion thing, whatever. And I'm gonna put a little bit on my eyes. Now just spraying a regular shadow brush with my Mario Badescu spray. I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna be using the Carly Bible BH Cosmetics palette, and I'm going to use this shade right here in her palette. Now going in with the B Bella NG331 brush, I'm gonna go in with that same shade and kind of like blend it out. And then again, but this time going in with the one that's right above it. And then wetting the brush once more, the same B Bella brush, I'm going to go back in with the shimmery shade and layer another coat. As far as the lashes, I'm going to use the Salon Perfect 53s just because they're a little bit more natural and they complement my eyelashes really well. And I'm just going to do those off camera. Okay, so I went ahead and also did my brows. You can do them as light as you want. You don't even have to fill them in. This is kind of just like natural glowy, if you guys know what I'm saying. And now for the under eyes. So going in with the Urban Decay Lucky, it's kind of just like a nice gold. I'm gonna highlight my under eyes. Highlight, you know what I mean. Head to feet, baby, you're just fine. Never had a girl to give the eyes a little bit more of a zhuzh, sparkly feel, I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero palette, and I'm gonna be using the color Glow Getter. So it's this one right here. It's just a gold. And going in with that same Be Bella brush, I'm gonna be lightly tapping into it and going like on top of the lid. This isn't even gonna be doing that much of a difference. All it's doing is just adding a little bit of like flex of the highlighter that this has. I don't know if that made sense. And then doing the same for the brow bone. For the inner corner, I'm going to be doing the same as well. Now, as far as the skin, I'm just going to be doing like barely a contour just because my face is really round. I want at least some structure. If you have a very angled face and you're blessed with that, you don't need this. You don't need this. But I'm just going to be doing the Kat Von D, and I'm going to use this shade right here. And that's probably as far as I'll go. Just one little swipe just to give it just a hint of a definition. Going in with the MAC Give Me Sun and the BH Cosmetics 124 brush, I'm gonna now just bronze the crap out of my face. I'm gonna use just a regular, I guess, brush that doesn't have anything on it. I'm gonna kind of blend it all in. For the highlight, I guess this is kind of probably the key part of everything. I'm gonna be using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the color Champagne Pop. And I'm going to be putting a powder highlight over this, but right now I'm going to use a liquid because that's what's going to really give it the dewiness. And I'm going to take a little bit, and honestly, I'm not kidding, this stuff goes like a really long way. I'm going to put a little bit on my nose, like a little dot, and then I'm going to start to just put it anywhere that you would need highlight, I guess. And this stuff does go a very long way. Again, you do not want to like overdo it, which is why like the exfoliating part is really important, because if this is gonna hit any dead skin, you will see it, and it will just, you'll see it. That's all you'll see is your dead skin. And for this, you want to pat. You don't want to go like this, because this is what's gonna do like that weird like line situation. If you just pat, it's just gonna nicely sink in. And of course you can use a beauty blender. I'm gonna choose to use my finger because the heat of my fingers really I guess bakes the highlight. I don't know a good word for it, like warms it up. As far as the powder highlight, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Carly Bible BH Cosmetics palette because these highlighters are honestly bomb for like the natural glow. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this shade right here, and I'm gonna be applying that with a fan brush. And the brush that I'm using is the Morphe M601. Using the NYX Butter Gloss in the color Creme Brulee. It's honestly my all-time favorite. Just find a gloss that suits, I guess, your lip color the best and your lip shape, and for me it's this one. And that's all you're gonna need, is just a nice gloss, because you know we want to be really glowy and shiny, and so just a simple gloss will do. And what I always like to do is, because I don't have big lips, I like to, like right here on my cupid's bow, I like to put the gloss a little bit like over it. Let's see. And it kind of gives it like that wet look, that natural wet look, and it makes my lips just look a little bit bigger, just because I tend not to put a lot of highlight on my cupid's bow when I do like natural looks, because it doesn't look natural, I guess, and doing this with a gloss will really help. For like the face, that's pretty much it. You can go even more on the highlight. I just like to add a little bit more tedious things, and something that I always like to do is just highlight my little not highlight, but bring out my beauty marks. I have one right here and one right here. And voila. Now for setting, okay, if you do, for example, I only used like barely any oil in my foundation, but if you did put a lot, or if you did mix the oil with the shimmering skin perfector, you probably won't want to do this, but I'm going to set my face. So obviously if you do have a lot of oils, you don't want to be setting your face, because oil and water, that does not mix as well. You know, you're just gonna be sliding all over the place. I mean, you could probably do like a little light mist. I didn't use that much oil on my face, just for the simple fact that I didn't use any powders on my face except underneath my eyes, or what's it called, on my contour. Like it was just like the contour and the bronzer, and I didn't use that much oil, so I feel like I'm okay to do this. I'm just gonna use the Mario Badescu, and instead of going like really close like how I normally do, not like really close, but I'm gonna go like far like extremely far, and I'm just gonna target not my whole face, but just like one spritz here and one spritz here, just for the highlight shadow that I have. It's gonna like sink into my skin, and it's not gonna make it look like powder. So as far as the chest area, we're gonna highlight, we're gonna use a concoction of things. So we're gonna use the Becca Shimmering again, and just the same step as we did, we're gonna do tap, 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 tap. We don't wanna go like this. And actually you could probably go like this if it's on your skin. No, I changed my mind, we can do that. So I'm gonna hit all the high points. So I'm gonna hit the shoulders and the collarbones. I have non-existing collarbones, so it doesn't really work for me, but that's why we will embrace them and we will try to make them show. So just putting a little bit, let's be real, on the shoulders. So again, this one we can, I guess, go like this. The only problem that I do see with it is it doesn't show up as well, like when you rub it in versus if you pat, but it's okay because we're gonna be using a concoction. This is kind of like our moisturizing base, I guess. So I like to go like this because you can't see my collarbones. And again, if you don't have collarbones, if you go like this, you can always contour them out and make them a little bit shown, but I don't want to do that, it's too much work. So let's just, you know, once we do the shimmering perfector, we are going to go ahead and go in with the Latte Coco. This is by Urban Outfitters, and this is just a shimmering body oil. Honestly, this stuff is bomb, especially like if you go to the beach and you want that nice glowy glow. And it smells so good. It smells like coconut, so it really gets you in the mood. And this just has like gold fleckles in it, plus it's like the oil part, so it makes it look really, see, can you see that? Yes. And then again, I'm gonna go in with the collarbones. For the very last step, we're gonna highlight. Again, I'm gonna use a fan brush. I just like using a fan brush because I feel like it's just more easy. It doesn't really like chunk it on, versus if you use like a shadow brush. Like this just gives you a nice like dusting highlight, which is why I tend to always use the fan brush. And I'm gonna go in with that same Carly Bible shade that I used, and we're gonna start to highlight. finished result. So it's very beachy. I know my lighting sucks. I always say this. But you know, you can see kind of like the glowiness. It's just very, honestly, perfect for the beach. You don't need to wear makeup to the beach, but if I want to fucking wear makeup to the beach, I'll wear makeup to the beach. So, you know, I just like it because it makes you look like you got a nice little glow-ish oily tan going on. And, you know, beachiness waves, we got it all set. And I guess that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!